In the short space of one generation, the world has become a more dangerous place. Little can be guaranteed. A walk in a public place or a journey on a bus or train have the potential to end in injury or even death. Since the London bombings, Australia is holding its breath. It's a terrorist target now as well, because like Britain, Australia is a Western country and a staunch ally of America, committing troops to all US conflicts. Adding to Australia's growing fears is the potential threat to its people from Indonesia, a close neighbour with a Muslim population that is the largest of any country on earth. The threat to Australia from Indonesia is not imagined. A recent terrorist attack on the Australian embassy in Jakarta and the 2002 car bomb murder of 88 Australians by Muslim extremists at an Indonesian resort is increasing tension. But young Indonesian Muslims and young Australians want to avoid hostilities. They're calling for time out, for a chance to view East and West with fresh eyes, to look beyond hostilities and stereotype, to search for the potential for connection rather than conflict. The idea for this film is simple. Two girls, one Australian and one Indonesian Muslim, will swap lives. For 10 intensive weeks, armed with a video camera, they'll swap homes, friends and families. The locations of Sydney and the Indonesian university city of Yogyakarta were selected. Interviews began for the two girls prepared to represent East and West. Interest from the Indonesian Muslim girls was particularly strong. Dewi, a law student from the Islamic University of Indonesia, was more than a little surprised to be offered the opportunity. What was your initial reaction when you heard you'd been selected for this documentary?
Oh, absolutely happy. I love internet cafe, but then everyone keeps staring at me. What happened with her?
What do you mean, because you were selected and...
Yeah, and I scream, you know. I'm so happy. Then after that, I write email to you, and in that point, I'm still laughing, and everyone in internet cafe watch me and wondering why I'm laughing, what I'm laughing.
Because you're so happy.
Yeah, but now I'm nervous.
Menurut saya yang paling baik, dia adalah anak yang patuh pada orang tua, ya, bisa menghormati orang yang lebih tua. Ya, ini karena dalam tradisi kami seorang anak itu harus bisa menghormati orang yang lebih tua.
Dan suatu kehormatan bagi kami bahwa Dewi dapat terpilih menjadi duta bangsa Indonesia.
I think it's just that idea that something's so special and important, and you realise that you don't get it very often, and grab it, take it.
Along with the excitement, there was also a note of concern.
I don't really feel very happy about Violet going there because of the presence of extremists.
Is that your greatest fear about her going there? Or greatest concern, maybe?
Yeah, I just feel that we're unwelcome there now.
Do you have any concerns about her being in Yogyakarta?
No, not at all. I think Indonesia's it's a huge place. There's 200 million people, of whom 99.99% are fantastic, reasonable people.
Maybe you can't help having that sort of gut scaredness, but with lots of things. But in reasonably, I think it's not a silly thing to be going to Java at the moment, to Yogyakarta. It's a reasonable adventure. Yeah, no, I'm not really scared. I'm maybe a little bit apprehensive, but not scared.
The trip for both girls will be much more than a novel experience. From day one of the swap, they'll be challenged, expected to explore and examine in close detail major issues that directly affect each other's lives. As luck would have it, Although they've not met before, the lives of Dewi and Violet briefly cross paths. There's a short space of time before Dewi leaves for Violet's home in Sydney.
Have you ever seen a Tasmanian devil? Only the picture. They're like, yeah, I know.
It's been a long journey of changing planes and cooling heels at airports along the way, and Violet's tiredness is understandable. The following day, though, at a security and cultural briefing, it becomes clearer. It seems that Violet's suffering from much more than fatigue and may be having second thoughts about swapping lives. She may be overwhelmed by the extent of the challenge ahead of her. It's hard to know, but this film faces a bit of a problem.
Just wondering whether it was going to be a disaster or something that was really positive. Like, I think I had committed myself to doing it, and that's fine, but sort of wondering, entertaining the possibility for the first time that perhaps this was going to be much harder to do.
I mean, the idea, Violet, was to get you outside your comfort zone, and I suppose that's the way you're feeling now, that you are outside that.
I think it would have been better if I was more... No, I don't know. It's too early to say. It really is. I think these are more just initial culture shock doubts and feeling a bit out of place, and it's not so important in the grand scheme of things, probably. A couple more days, I'll be there.
There's little to do but to proceed this day with Violet's planned orientation of the city of Yogyakarta and its more than 100 learning institutions. This one, Dewi's University. The day wears on, and Violet begins to warm to the challenge ahead of her as she meets the talented young Indonesians happy to assist her, and Dewi invites two of her best friends around for a bit of girl talk.
I have one photo of my boyfriend, sexy.
I think I've met enough people now to feel happy and confident, especially Dewi's friends, and I think that's really when I cheered up later this evening when we all sat around and had a talk.
Okay, about hijab. Yeah, using hijab. Using hijab.
Chapter 1.
We have to prepare ourselves. Our heart must be prepared to wearing hijab, because hijab is not too limited, but we can remember I'm wearing hijab, so I cannot do this, so I cannot do this.
So it's a physical
reminds me to not doing wrong.
Violet and Dewi's new best friend in the weeks ahead will be the video camera. Both girls decide to get acquainted and to work on a few finer points they'll use in their filming and in regular video diaries. It's goodbye time for Dewi, and her family and friends are there at the airport to wish her well on her first trip ever outside Indonesia. Is it nice to be the centre of attention? Just a little bit nice, no?
I feel safe. I'm a safe person. Oh my God.
You're a little bit embarrassed, are you?
Yeah, no, I'm blushing right now.
Within 30 minutes, you'll be on the plane and off to Australia.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit scared, a little bit nervous.
What will be the first thing you do when you get off the plane?
Kiss the hand.
Kiss the land?
No,
What, like the Pope? Like a religious figure?
No, I'm just kidding. Maybe I'll pray Alhamdulillah because our trip is safe. Yeah.
Room, and your room now. And you have
Dewi barely has time to drop her bags before her new family cart her off to celebrate a friend's birthday.
Hello, darling. I'm not kind of
party girl, and I just love to hang around in house. It's not in the kind of party, but I enjoy the party. And there is a gentleman also who took me dance, but I have never danced before, so I think it's so funny if I see myself dancing in the front of everybody. I don't know.
The following day, armed with her video camera and wearing her headscarf in Australia for the first time, Dewi ventures out to explore Australian views on Muslims and the perceived connection between Islam and terrorism.
You feel a bit unsafe now that all the terrorism's happening.
What do you think about Muslims? I mean, Islamic people?
Just normal people.
Not all Muslims are terrorists, no.
I'm an Irish Catholic, so we've been associated as terrorists for years and years. So the only advantage is the post September 11th is it takes the heat off the Irish Catholics.
What do you think about Muslims?
I don't think about them much. I don't really think about Muslims much. I'm too busy thinking about girls. Pretty girls like you.
Thank you.
There's all sorts of terrorism. The radio announcers we have, they're terrorists. They just frighten people because they float all sorts of silly ideas about what's happening, and they're selling fear.
Next day, it's time to touch base with the local university.
Hi, Davey. Come in, sit down.
Thank you.
Oh, when did you arrive?
On a cook's tour of the university, Associate Professor Reeve introduces Dewi to Julianne and Julia. Dewi takes an instant shine to them. They seem ideal young Australians to assist her in researching youth culture in the West. One of the obligations of her Islamic faith is that Dewi must pray 5 times a day, each at a stipulated time. Dewi's absorbed in the company of her new friends. Suddenly, she realises she needs to find a place to pray.
The West should be here. But I'm hopeless that I have no geographical skills, so I really don't know.
Fine.
Did you want us to wait out here, or?
Up to you. It's fine.
Okay.
Are you still messaging there?
Well, Julia assures me that the beach is down that way, so...
When you put all the
Violet has also begun to establish a network of new friends.
My sister praying. Hi. Hello.
If you miss your rituals, like fasting and praying, does it make you feel guilty?
Sometimes. Sometimes, yes.
Do you think you can make it up by being good, or?
Yeah, I always... it's a kind of warning.
Yeah.
It's a kind of warning. And it always gives me good boost to be better. I mean, I should not be late. I should not miss it. Something like that.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah. But you have to pray 5 times a day. You must miss it sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the nature of human.
Yeah, of course. What does your religion mean to you?
It means a lot to me. Be honest to myself, I never go to the mosque every day right now because, yeah, you know, human always like that. Sometimes forgot, but it means a lot to me when I'm thinking about my music, my relationship with another person, when I'm confused and then don't know how to talk to, then usually I talk to God, I pray.
Is there a lot of pressure on young people to be strict Muslims in Indonesia?
Nowadays, as I saw, no.
I captured a beauty model contest, and sort of was, you know, it was quite long filming, and I'm sure some of it's not very good, and I really should have remembered my tripod. I got some nice shots of these girls parading themselves, and there was going to be a winner and everything. And then I also captured an interview with one of the models who ended up winning.
Do you think it's a Western influence to have beauty competitions, or it's natural?
Okay, I think it's Western. It's from the West, you know, because the culture from the East is women usually kept inside, stay behind, and then become housewives, take care of the kids. But then it's because of, you know, the television, the magazine. It's from the Western. It's Western culture.
Do you think it clashes with Indonesia's culture? Like they sort of together clash?
It used to be, but I don't think it is now.
And this one girl came out and sort of said this quite long prayer in Arabic, it would have been. She was really, you know, talking about her religion, about her Islamic faith, and thank you to God and all this, and just really bringing up this concept of religion after she'd done this sort of quite sexy swivel down the catwalk. I suppose within herself she'd come to this conclusion that it was all right what she was doing with her religion, and I was wondering what other people thought of this.
I think maybe she's kind of person like me also, that what we have in our faith is like, as a matter of fact, is our problem with our God. So we take the consequence and nothing. Like people judging you, you are praying 5 times, but you are wearing miniskirt. That's kind of opposite thing, that very contradiction. But then later on, like I say to some people, well, that's my problem with my God. So you don't really have to say something or judge us for the way how do I look, because that's very personal and privacy, I think.
Do you think you can resolve within yourself that you can be a good Muslim and still wear very few clothes on the catwalk?
Maybe
could you?
Like if you... I won't. Of course I won't. My circumstances is not support me to be
but if you were like 6'4" and leggy and would you walk down a catwalk with small clothes? And
maybe because I live in different circumstances. Because maybe my mother or my father won't allow me to do that. The control of parents still quite strong here.
Violet needs to explore the sensitive issue of sexuality with young Muslims. She catches wind of a new law limiting the public display of affection and feels that this may be a good starting point.
Oh, kissing in public. Oh.
Is there a law against it?
No, not about law, just morally.
Morally. It's not our culture like that.
You can kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, just cheek is okay. But
if girls, but in the woman, man, oh no,
this is not in public.
This is not can be accepted.
If they hold hands, is that looked down upon?
And it's okay. Like, it's like that. It's okay.
No, boys and girls.
Yeah, never mind.
As long as it's not
Islam. Yeah.
Sorry, we came early. Oh, it's okay. What do you think about the law on kissing?
The law on kissing? Well, actually, it hasn't been ratified yet.
No, but like just the idea of it.
I think it's totally absurd.
Where do you think it comes from?
I think it comes from religion, because, you know, people think that right now it's becoming a problem in, I think in Jakarta, not in Yogyakarta, you know, in lots of the metropolitan areas, that, you know, lots of people are seen kissing in public. I think it's totally stupid to put laws on kissing, you know. It's part of your personal expression, you know, and I don't think the government has even the right to go into that boundaries of, you know, that's personal expression.
For the first time, there are some research stated Yogyakarta is 98% is not virgin anymore.
98?
Yeah.
First research
done by the other person. Yeah. So we're really surprised about it. That's not true. We want to deny it. We want to make a battle about it. So we make the
counter about it. So we
make
to the questionnaire. Like that. And we around to the the university
in many universities
in
the Jogja. We go there,
and the result is very, very good, I think.
Very surprised. Only not more than 50, under 50, under 15%.
Oh, what?
about the unvirgin.
So
I think
the
89
more 80% is still virginity.
Were you asking equal amounts of boys and girls?
No, only
the woman. Only the woman, yeah. Because
boy have no
virginity.
Because they do.
Yeah,
because boys have virginity.
No,
just only woman.
But you can still call a guy a virgin.
We have the sign. We have when the hymen like that, like
when the hymen is broken, so it's.
Can we to the
hymen can break other ways.
Yeah. But Indonesia have to.
It's still
like that.
It's very strict.
It's very very strict about the virginity, I think. Like that.
But people do sleep with each other here, don't they? Yeah. But also, don't they get pregnant if they do? Because you don't have contraception.
They make contraception.
Condoms.
Condom or the
coitus interruptus.
Coitus.
So if the man want to
getting out
the
pull out
the sperm,
just pull out the
not
just
you know
the word.
You know.
We're not trying to be hypocrite on using contraception.
Yeah.
Those who decide to use it, actively involved in intercourse, they should think about it. The contraception. Yeah. It is a good choice, and we try to make it as an option because most of the teenagers do not understand the importance of contraceptions.
But they have sex anyway.
Yes, it is. And
they if they get pregnant, they just have to get married.
Yeah, because they are not ready. They are not prepared to accept the option of being pregnant.
But it's weird. Like, how can you have sex and not accept that you will get pregnant?
Yeah,
they just do it.
We are not having a whole education.
Most of the sex education is pushed behind closed doors, and the government and the teachers expect that the parents would give it to their parents, but also the parents don't want to talk about it to the children because it's still taboo.
If somebody has sex once, can they get pregnant?
I think they can get pregnant.
Yeah.
If they do that in the time when the woman the hormone of estrogen is higher, and they are possible to pregnant.
So what about in the time when what about if it's not a time when a woman's menstruation cycle's at its peak?
Yeah, I think they won't be pregnant.
They won't? Really? You know that's not true. You can get pregnant anytime. It's more likely.
Lolly's not too fazed by any grey areas in her knowledge of contraception. A zero-tolerance approach towards sex before marriage will be her simple solution. A solid friendship develops between the girls.
1 year later, I'm going to support my financial.
Really? Wow.
That's all my plan.
Mixed bathing swimming pools are common throughout Indonesia.
At 11 is the time, it's a woman time.
Some pools offer women-only sessions. They're the ones where Lolly feels most comfortable.
Yeah, of course, because I can wear my swimsuit. No worry that men will see.
Western-style clubs and rock concerts hold little appeal for Lolly. She accompanies Violet this night out of friendship rather than interest.
There'll be lots to drink because, the drink inside that they provided inside is somehow it's not halal food because beer, alcohol. That's why the point that I don't like this kind of place.
Although not to Lolly's taste, the Western rock music scene in this Islamic country holds broad appeal for young Indonesians. Its growing influence cannot be denied.
My friends, most of them are Muslim and they drink a lot. They have free sex. Yeah. They use drugs. We cannot describe if a Muslim if he's a Muslim or she's a Muslim, he's not drink, and then he don't do free sex. No, it's not true.
But it's still sort of taboo to talk about it, like still a bit shady to talk about drugs and sex and alcohol, or it's just open?
It's just open.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, it's just open.
Yeah.
To the friends, eh?
Yeah, of course.
To the friends, but not to older, to our parents, to older people.
The flow of illicit drugs is a problem confronting countries across the globe. To protect Indonesia from what they see as an insidious threat to cultural and religious values, the response by government has been firm.
Do you think the sentences for drug traffickers at the moment are appropriate?
Yeah, personally, I think that drug trafficking is a big problem in Indonesia, and that, from the news, what I see is that most of the drug traffickers, whether we like it or not, are foreigners. They come from other countries, even from Australia. I think you've heard, so I think that the only way we can cut off that, devilish circle of people using drugs is that if we cut, down to the core, we eliminate those people.
I think the death punishment is useful. We need to have strict rules on drugs, like Malaysia. If you caught up with the leaf,
but it doesn't
ecstasy.
Stop it.
Yes, it is, because if there's demand, the supply will come.
Yeah, but I don't think that killing people actually stops demand. I think people can't comprehend.
Yeah, and it is just a method. I mean, it's just a way.
Australians didn't believe in death penalty.
I think it went out a long time ago. They used to have it here, but yeah,
it's a very big issue, to put someone to death, put someone to sleep.
I'd say the vast majority would not agree with capital punishment in Australia. Yeah. You'd be very hard to find someone that does. I think it was 15 years ago I was saying there were 2 Australian guys who were caught over in Indonesia and they were executed for the drugs. I heard it on the radio the other day. You have to check it up, do some research. But they said it was either 15 or 20 years ago it happened. But saying on that, you have to respect, I suppose, other countries. I mean, we wouldn't like it if we caught some guy in Australia, to say he was smuggling some kind of drug that we thought was illegal, and his country back home said, no, that's fine, he's allowed to do that. I think you're kind of treading on hard ground there, but I hope that the countries get together and work out something.
Ready? Look at the ball. Stand further forward. Yes! Run! Run, Derry! Run!
Dewi has settled nicely into her Australian home, and Violet has as well. They're broadening further the experience of their new countries with opportunities of short stays with other families. Violet has established a friendship with Ernie and her family. They have a home on school grounds, with both Ernie and her mother teaching there. Violet's language skills and a broadening network of friends have allowed her to not only observe, but participate in this culture.
What I really do love here is that sense of ritual, and the beauty of what they have is that it's something that's so shared amongst everybody and that everybody feels its meaning in one way or another. They still joke about how they have to sit there for hours or, continuously eat course after course. It's all light-hearted, but it does mean something to them, and that's really lovely.
Girls. 2 girls. Hi. Excuse me.
Dewi has hit a bit of a brick wall in her Australian research. She needs to investigate the subject of sex in a Western culture, but Dewi's unsure how best to raise such a personal and private issue. Dewi becomes inspired by a plan. She'll casually extract information at a girls' sleepover with Julia and Julianne. Her fact-finding exercise, though, is full of distractions and delays, lots of them.
Hi, could we place an order to pick up, please? For the pizza, can we get a margarita? And for the pasta, can we get the fettuccine San Remo?
I want a message.
Finally, frustrated, she simply asks.
The whole time.
You already have a boyfriend, right? And you slept with him, or sleep with him based on because you like it, or coercion? I mean, your boyfriend forced you?
No. Definitely not.
Okay, why don't you ask your favourite question? You've skipped it. I know.
I tried to skip that.
Can you just record this, please?
I tried to skip that.
There's a question that she skips all the time. Can you please ask that question?
Oh, I hate this question. I really hate this question. But I have to ask. I try to be professional. And how is the Australian view sex?
A lot of the meaning behind what it means to be with another person is lost because it's just seen as a part of picking up, or if you scored, or if you're a man because you went out and you picked up this girl. And it's really scary because a lot of girls sort of just lose their identity and lose who they are and try to become a part of the system so they can feel comfortable. And there's a lot of pressure put on girls to sort of give way and have sex so they can be cool.
How do you feel about sex before marriage?
I prefer not because I think it's my personal opinion because it's too risky. If you've had sex and you'd happily tell your parents at our age, 20, you'd be most likely be able to tell your parents. But in Indonesia, would you be able to tell your mum and dad that you had sex at 20 or not?
No, they would kill you.
Yeah.
If I had sex before marriage and then my relationship with that person ends, then it's like the ties that we've made by having sexual relations is so much. Yeah, so it's sad seeing people out there just going for one night stands or whatever.
It's early days in her research, but Dewey is becoming aware of a view on sexual freedom she was not expecting in a Western country.
So you don't believe in sex before marriage?
See, it's not that I don't believe it. I don't tell other people not to have sex before marriage.
Wow. Nice.
But because of my own beliefs and my own upbringing, personally, I choose not to.
Not based on any religious views, just from my own sort of ethical standpoint, I think that there shouldn't be sex before marriage. But in saying that, I respect, what I love about Australia is that we accept all different points of view.
For myself, I would regard virginity as a really important thing, and I'm very keen to keep that within the boundaries of marriage. Just I view it as a gift. It's something so special. If you break it, it's like breaking a piece of wood.
First, before I came here, I always think that Australian is so free. You can commit free sex before marriage and stuff, but hang out with Amelia's friend and family broke my opinion about the stereotype.
Dewey's surprise in her research is quickly forgotten when the following day she's swept along by a student protest. It's her first experience of democracy on the hoof.
Yeah, there are all these students. It seems like all students from all of the unis. And I've never been in a rally with...
You would not go into a rally like that normally?
Never.
Dewey's Indonesia has recently become democratic.
Indonesian Muslim against the gambling.
It's a hopeful beginning, but tentative. Because for Dewey and other Indonesians, bad memories of old regimes still resonate.
I like your freedom of speech. I mean, you can say anything to your government without afraid you're being kidnapped and killed. In Indo, if you are talking bad about your government or your president or your prime minister, the morning, you never know, your door is knocked and suddenly you're in the middle of nowhere and get tortured.
That was then, this is now, and there's cautious optimism.
In Indo, we guarantee that we are allowed to talk about, to express our opinion, but it seems so different in here.
And it is different, because even for the youngest Australian, democracy is a right, not a privilege, as Dewey found when she inquired at a local school about the likes and dislikes of living in Australia. To begin with, the responses were predictable.
It's good because it's fun, it's a free country.
There's lots of things that you can do to have fun because there's heaps of beaches in Australia.
We really enjoy playing soccer.
And then unplanned and unprompted, it became a tad political.
But it's bad because the government sometimes makes bad decisions.
When prime ministers and people who are in high places make bad choices for us.
The prime minister doesn't make a good decision, which destroys people, which puts a bad influence on us, but yeah, that's about as bad as it gets.
It's safe like this because we have modern...
Hey there, girl, you're from... Perhaps the most enduring perception of Islamic countries held by the West is that Muslim women are repressed, especially in the confines of marriage.
Do you think of marriage as a sacrifice? Like you're going to have to sacrifice lots of things, or is it a really positive thing? And
for women, it is.
Yes, or for you.
For me,
as
it is. Yes, it is. It is a sacrifice. Yes.
What?
For when we live before marriage, we have almost no limit on what we want to do. But when we start to set up a marriage life, there's a boundary. There's a husband, there will be children, there will be families from the husband, our family.
But that's important to you, yeah?
Because the culture says so.
But for you personally, it's important?
Yes, it is. I should go on with what I want before I start to think about marriage. I should get a good job, I should get my master's degrees, maybe I should give something to my parents who are giving me a lot in my life. So then after I accomplish all those things, I'll start to think about marriage. I have to fulfill what I want first. Yeah.
My ambition is I will work at home. Maybe I will make some firm of public relation consultant. I would say it's possible for me to do at home and while I protect my kids.
When you get married, according to Islam, the one who should find money for the family is a man, and a woman, the one who should stay at home, keep the children, and keep the house or something. But I don't think that can be sweet on this, in this modern area anymore, because sometimes when a man only get a job, the money is not enough for the family, so the woman have to go also find a job. So I think that will be clashing at that time.
What do you think about those roles given by Islam?
Those roles, I don't really agree with that thing. Because for me, I'm the person thinking that what men can do, a woman also can do.
The faith is being kept strong by modern Muslim women, but they're also addressing cultural issues of sexism, like polygamy. It's not common, but it exists, and it's legal.
But is it socially acceptable in Indonesia?
Yeah, it is socially acceptable in Indonesia.
So people don't look down upon it?
No, but except that many women are against it, especially feminists and, more of the modern women, The Prophet remarried more than once because he wanted to protect the woman, because the women were either widows, or they were poor women, that he was afraid that they would be raped by other men, so that's why he took them as their second, third, and fourth wives to become his wives, because he wanted to protect them. But now in modern day Indonesia, the stories that I get on TV from the artists and celebrities, lots of them are getting married off to 2, 3, 4 women, because they think that it will be better for them to get married instead of committing adultery.
Dewey's on a roll with her research into sexuality in Australia, so she dramatically shifts focus to the gay and lesbian scene.
Hey, Lexi.
she's granted an interview with one of the best lesbian performers